So shout out to the Shake Squad. Noti Gang, stand up, it's your boy Shake. As promised, I want to give you guys my suggestion for the first build you should strongly consider making for NBA 2K23. Now usually when 2K drops, we never really know what the meta is out the gate. So when you make your first build, it's kind of a guess. You're kind of wondering if, you know, if this is going to be the meta, if this build's going to work. So I want to give you guys a solid, balanced build that'll guarantee you success no matter what out the gate. Because we don't know if 2K nerfed PGs and made it to where they can't speed boost left and right anymore, and maybe that's not the meta. Like, what if the steals and defense is as crazy as it was at the start of 2K22? Like, what if 2K nerfed inside scoring and bigs can't just pump fake 20 times in the paint and score at will? I'm not exactly sure, but after playing 2K23, a lot of the cheese that I was used to seeing in 22 just wasn't there. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, why would I recommend a Devin Booker build? I'm doing my Brian Windhorst. Why would I recommend a Devin Booker build? Every year that 2K puts out the cover athlete, that position, that role ends up being overpowered. 2K21 on current gen, we had Damian Lillard on the cover, and you know the play shot, 6'3" play shots were unstoppable. In fact, they were the #1 build that was made on current gen 2K21. And then we had Zion on the cover for next gen, and everyone knows that power forwards dominated the scene in 2K21 in the city. Some of you guys remember 2K20 post scoring was insane, and we had Anthony Davis on the cover. And the list goes on and on. It's like 2K wants to give as many advantages in the form of attributes to that position, whoever's on the cover, as possible to make sure that that person feels like their build is unguardable. And this still all holds true. After playing with Devin Booker in 2K23, I feel very confident in recommending this build to you guys, at least to start the year off. So taking a look at this build, it's very similar to several builds that I already have. You can make it a point guard or shooting guard. I chose to go with the point guard because I like to be the primary ball handler. We're gonna make him 6'6", 180 pounds with a 6'8" wingspan and a solid body shape for that thinner look. And these are the attributes you wanna go with to make yourself a solid, balanced build that can do work on offense and defense. 85 drive and dunk with a 75 vertical gets you the pro contact dunks. That might change in 2K23, but we're still gonna make a build very similar to this one to make sure that we have that complete build, the complete balance. The 88 3 ball is the threshold that you need to have in order to hit those deep fades or step backs consistently. As you can see, you get chef and circus threes, so you can do step backs, fades, pretty much anything on that perimeter. Now normally I stop with an 85 pass accuracy because that's all you need for gold bullet passer. But anyone who has a 90 pass accuracy will tell you how incredible it feels to whip the ball around that fast. You could save yourself a badge and just put on silver bullet passer and still throw dots. An 87 ball handle gets you unpluckable gold. We don't know if that's gonna change for 2K23, but we definitely wanna make sure we can protect the ball from people who like to reach. You get a 90 perimeter defense and a 90 steal rating. This means you can rip people on ball and play the passing lanes. You can also put on Hall of Fame pick dodger and avoid those mean screens. This is gonna be huge in 2K23. You'll have a build that can do work on offense, but can absolutely shut people down on defense. And last but not least, this is a 6'6" build with a near 90 speed rating. You play good defense on the perimeter, then leak out for those easy cherry pick fast break buckets. And I don't really need a 96 stamina. This is a remake build. But if this is the case, this is a build that you can ISO with and play excellent defense without losing too much stamina. And just so you know, with ankle breaking shots, I'm able to activate a lot of posterizers even without the slasher take. Definitely consider that if you're trying to catch a body every now and then. Now when this build is complete, we get a 6'6" play shot. Lonzo Ball was the best on-ball defender in the demo that I played for 2K23. His arm length, his size, his lateral quickness was extremely disturbing against guards like Steph Curry and Chris Paul. Now this is just one of many badge loadouts I have for a very similar build. You guys can just pause it, take a look at some of the badges that I'm using. This build is 6'6" with gold quick chain. So you're still able to ball handle and just destroy people off the dribble, go anywhere you want on the court. And trust me, it feels really good to have Hall of Fame interceptor still, Hall of Fame pick dodger, and gold pickpocket. We can even get chase down blocks with this build. Now it's true, we don't know what the NBA 2K23 MyPlayer Builder looks like, but we have to assume that it did change a little bit. So you may not get this exact same build. And of course, I'll do an update video when the game drops and give you guys a solid quadruple archetype build. But this is one of the best things you guys can do, man, to make sure that you come out the gate swinging. You want to be able to make sure that your build can either become the meta or at least defend against it. Now here's some footage of me using a very similar build only a couple nights ago. Still on that Xbox grind, trying to get to Legend. I already hit Legend on PS5. I'm trying to do it again on Xbox. And decided to bring this build out real quick to test it out. And sure enough, it was very similar to what I wanted to make for 2K23. Now this is a 50-point game. Most of this is ISO and some good defense, transition points. A lot of times when you see people put up 50+ games, you see a lot of catch and shoot. I think I only get like maybe 2 catch and shoot buckets in this game. So this is like a legitimate build, a legitimate gameplay of how you can use this build. Now every time a new 2K drops, at least since 2K19, I come out the gate with a quadruple archetype. And this is mainly because we don't know what the meta is. So we at least want to have that first build that can do a little bit of everything. You know, run the offense, play spot up, can shoot, can score, can dunk, can dribble. Want a little bit of everything in your bag, at least for your first build. Of course, if you're playing in tournaments or you already know what your squad is looking for, maybe you're someone who's used to playing a support role, then you gotta make the build that fits your playstyle. You know, if you guys wanna come out with a center or a short PG, then you just gotta do what you gotta do. That works too. Of course, if that's what you're used to. But this is for those guys that don't really know exactly what they wanna build first, but they want to be useful and extremely effective right out the gate. For me, it's also the defense. You know, I always want to make sure that whatever build I start off with, if I make a little PG, I might not be able to defend the meta. At least now I have a build that I can come out the gate with that can defend the meta and also be the meta. And as time progresses, we tend to figure out what actually works and what doesn't, how to improve our builds. A lot of us make a lot of builds. Most of my friends have, I would say, closer to 10 builds each. I definitely have at least 10 builds, you know, 5 on each console. So, you know, not to mention current gen as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to make builds. It's gonna be the same way in 2K23. And I just wanna make sure you guys come out the gate with something that you know you can be confident with. We've got Devin Booker and Michael Jordan on the cover this year. So you know 6'5" to 6'6" play shots or 6'6" shooting guards, they're gonna be elite this year. You know, you're gonna get a whole lot more attribute points. Can only imagine how well the mid-range game is gonna be with the turnaround jump shots, the fades, dribble pull-ups, things like that. So when I played 2K23, Devin Booker was going crazy from everywhere. He could score inside and out, ball handle. A lot of his mid-ranges were going in. A lot of his threes too, especially when he got hot. It was pretty easy to just pull up. It was kind of like pulling up with a taller Steph Curry. But the only thing is he was kind of lacking on defense. And this build right here, you're not going to be lacking on defense. In fact, your defense is pretty elite with a 90 steal rating and a 90 perimeter defense. So this is exactly what you're looking for if you want to be able to kind of come out the gate dominating or running offense. And don't let me get started on the park. This build's almost impossible to stay in front of in the city. So this build is a lot of fun to use. Definitely consider this one for your first build. So anyways, this is the first of several videos I'm putting out based on actually playing 2K23, my recommendations for builds you guys should strongly consider coming out the gate with. I've got a little something for everybody. Of course, this is for next gen. As we get more information and insight on current gen, we'll put something together for that as well. Stay tuned for the next build video. There were several players and archetypes that I used when I played 2K23, and I think I've got a couple more that I want to share with you guys. As always, smack that like and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You don't want to miss these videos as they drop. It's your boy Shake. I'll see you guys in the next one. Going to events like this, you normally spend a lot more time mingling and talking to celebrities and NBA players and fellow, influencers and things like that, musicians. I had a good time doing that. I spent a considerable amount of time chopping it up with some of my favorite people out there. But I got lucky, man. Mike Wang actually showed up to this event and spent some time with me while I was gaming.